Well, well, well. It is that time once again. It is time to talk Dallas Cowboys. Can a day go by to where there is no Brian Schottenheimer press conference? I guess we can't go a day. Nevertheless, let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. It won't be long. Y'all know I gotta do Bible study. I preach Cowboys and I preach the word, but nevertheless, we're gonna get it in for about an hour and a half. So again, if you have not become a subscriber or a channel member, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. All right. So as people come in, let's get this thing going. Y'all hit that like button on the way in. Let me show you what the show. Let me tell you what the show is going to be like today. Here we go. So today we are going to listen to another Brian Schottenheimer press conference. I mean, they're like every day. We know what it is. We're going to look at the Cowboys power rank that came out a couple of days ago. And we're going to talk about whether or not that power rank is right as it applies to the Cowboys. Then I'm going to show you something that's pretty incredible. When you look at where everybody ranks, when you look at the power rank teams, and when you look at the Cowboys schedule, we're going to talk about that schedule. Let me tell you something. The Cowboys are going to prove some things with this particular schedule. Then the rankings, it looks like from like 30 to 41 or something like that is dropped. And so CeeDee Lamb is ranked at a certain spot. Micah Parsons is ranked at a certain spot. And there are some people that are up in arms. And we're going to talk about if those rankings are correct. And then I want to talk about, just for a little while, I disagree with the fact that people say Jerry don't want to win. And people don't know the difference between Jerry. People don't know the difference between Jerry has been a terrible GM versus Jerry wants to win. Those are two different statements. And so you can't say that a person don't want to win just because they make the wrong moves, because they don't think they're the wrong moves. People don't understand that. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to see if we can look at some of the best plays from X. So we may not get it all in this hour and 15 minutes or hour and 20 minutes that we're going to have. So make sure you hit that notification bell just in case I come back tonight and do Cowboys After Dark. You don't want to miss it. But nevertheless, Scotty Presser, Cowboys power rank, Cowboys schedule, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Jerry and winning players from X. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get this roll call in, and then we're going to get this show started. Y'all ready to talk some Cowboys? I am. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get us some roll call music. Yep, y'all know what time it is. Let's go. John Jones, he said, "What up, G Money?" I say it's a New Jack City. Let's go. John Henry up in here, he said, "Let's go Cowboys." What's going on, John Henry? Dak owns Filthy. What's going on with you? Lord Nova in the crib. Dak owns Filthy said, "Hit that like button." C-Base is always up in here. Let's go. Him and Dominique Pittman always in here. What's going on? He says, "What's your workout routine?" He said, "Them girls about the butt." Man, let me tell you something. I ain't got no workout routine. I need to get back on one. I've been slacking bad, Dominique. Been slacking bad, I'm telling you. Brandy Cup, what's going on up in here? Alfredo Morales, he said, "El Chuco in the house." What's going on with you? D. Robinson, how about them Cowboys? I'm with you. I'm still trusting the process. My man JCT Slice, he said, "G, no, not me. I think the Cowboys and their guys are getting slept on." I do too. People forget that 2 years ago, Dak Prescott was way better than Jalen Hurts. One flawed season shouldn't change that. I agree with you. The real Chris Danzler, what's going on with you? Salute my sister LaQueen from the beginning. What's going on? Brian Worley up in this thing. Let's go. Oddball in the house. Hallelujah. What's going on? Salute to you. Let's go. Minnesota Vaughn back up in here. Good to see you. He said on the ready. Let's go. Mr. 1972 Chevelle. That's a nice car. In the house. Let's go. All right. And Nitro Rock 1 in the house. We'll greet everybody else as they come in. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. So let's get this party started with none other than another Brian Schottenheimer press conference. Let's roll it. I think I'm gonna have to subscribe to YouTube Premium for the culture. I think I'm gonna do that for us. Let's go.
Oh, it does. I mean, you lean on those people. I mean, you definitely lean on those people, and the communication. You know, because like when you're going.
I was just close to his family like you are. How much does that help you fight cancer?
Oh, it does. I mean, you lean on those people. I mean, you definitely lean on those people, and the communication. You know, because like when you're going through those things, again, mine was nothing like as serious. You know, thyroid cancer is the slowest growing cancer in the world. I was actually more concerned about when I had to have the surgery that I could lose my ability to speak. And I was a coach, you know, because they're around your vocal cords. And Sam Weish actually had something like that happened to him a while back. But, man, without your inner circle of people and your family and your loved ones, it kind of reminds you of what truly matters.
Clarence Hill deal us Cowboys. Like, can you just talk about the situation in the sense of what stage was it in? You know, how you said it wasn't as serious, but how serious was it?
Yeah, it was thyroid cancer. You know, I don't remember exactly the stage it was in. I had to go to the Mayo Clinic. Crazy enough, we had just been in Washington the year before, 2 years before, and did not know this, but Dan Snyder actually had thyroid cancer. So I was not aware of that when I was coaching. And so I get the word, and I go and I find my dad. He's in watching the defensive film with the defensive guys, and I kind of called him out of the room, said, "Coach, can I see it for a second?" I told him that, I said, "Hey, I have cancer," you know, and I broke down, of course, you know, I lost it, and he said, "Hey, you know, we'll figure this out, and we'll get you the best help we can get." And he picked up the phone and called Dan Snyder, a guy that 2 years before had fired him, you know, and said, "Hey, let's go a different direction." It wasn't going to work, but he said, I'll never forget, he told me, when Dan picked up the phone and my dad said to him, "Hey, Dan, I've got a problem. Brian has cancer." Dan said, "Marty, give me 5 minutes and I'll call you back." And I think it was within 24 to 36 hours, I was on the operating table in Rochester, Minnesota. Again, it just shows you when you're dealing with things like that, you know, everything competitively stops. Like, okay, hey, you know, Marty and Dan disagreed and wanted to go a different direction. But the minute he picked up the phone, he said, "Hey, give me 5 minutes," and he called his contact at the Mayo Clinic, and next thing you know, I'm on the operating table. My wife was pregnant with our first child. She was about 4 months pregnant with our son Sutton, and so it was a very traumatic thing for me.
Can you give us just a timeline of when you found out you had cancer to when you were operated on until it was all gone?
Yeah, it's been a while, but basically found out early August. Came off the practice field, had a phone call from the doctor saying, "Hey, Brian, give me a call." I knew there was a lump in my throat, and so I knew there was something that was bothering me, but I didn't think it was anything. The doctor, when they did the fine needle aspiration, they didn't think it was anything. And so I remember coming in from practice and picking up the phone, and I knew it wasn't a good thing. So I called him, and he said, "You know, hey, you have cancer." He said, "Hey, thyroid cancer is the slowest growing type of cancer that there is." He said, "We can wait till, you know, the bye week or even, you know, after the season." I was like, "No, you know, let's remove it." And so went into surgery about 48 hours or 72 hours later. They removed my thyroid, and I think there were 17 lymph nodes. The thing that's so crazy about, you guys can see on my throat potentially, but, you know, there's a scar. But the thing about thyroid cancer is usually what they do is you do the surgery, and they make you take a radioactive iodine. You drink a radioactive iodine drink. And the beauty of what I was fortunate enough to do, and I say this humbly, was the doctor that did the surgery said, he goes, I'm not going to do that to you unless I think I miss. And he goes, I never miss. And so I think that's why, again, very blessed to be in the position I was, National Football League. And again, you know, quite honestly, we are blessed to have some of the best connections to things like that. But like, I'm honored and humbled to say that if it wasn't for Dan Snyder, if it wasn't for the National Football League, you know, maybe my story was a little bit different.
Brian Todd Archer with ESPN. I don't know how to move off the subject.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's been a while. And I still have my voice, which is good.
I'm sure some other people think otherwise. Wow.
Yes, they do.
A year ago this time, we all knew, like, Leofau could sing, right? There was the rookie stuff. We haven't heard anything yet on guys doing it. Have you not done anything, or what's the...
No, we're yeah. I'm not a get a guy up there and have him sing. I'm more of a, hey, let's see a production. Let's see a orchestrated rookie show. So we're going to do our rookie show tonight. We're going to have a hell of a practice today, clean some stuff up with meetings, and then I think at 5:45 tonight, the rookies are going to put on a little performance. I know they've been working hard on it. We'll find out what hidden talents they have. I'm sure that I, along with some of the veterans, will be getting roasted unmercifully, but that's all part of it. If you can't laugh at yourself and have good fun, then, you know, I think you're taking yourself too seriously. But yeah, I'm more that way. You know, I think, you know, if they sing, great, but if they whatever they come up with, it's their deal. So Brian Wansley and Tyler Boyle's my chief of staff. They've been helping those guys put it together, and it's been kind of fun for them. I've not seen any of it, but it's kind of fun for them to see the guys that are stepping up in the leadership roles and things like that. So I'll let you know how it goes.
If you're a high net worth businessman and you feel self-conscious about your gut sticking,
do you have a favorite skit or whatever that comes to mind from your years of being around them?
Well, I mean, Rex had a thing in New York. I can't believe I'm going to share this. Well, it's on Hard Knocks, so it doesn't matter. But he did a thing called King Ugly, and he basically would present a guy with a crown that he thought was the ugliest guy on the football team. I don't remember who it was, but I remember going, that's brutal. And then it made it worse was it was Hard Knocks, right? So it lives on forever. You're like, whoever it was, I can't remember. I was like, it's so bad, but that was always interesting. And it was a different guy every year, which is kind of fun.
John Michaud with The Athletic. We saw Brandon Aubrey get some work yesterday. Just what have you thought of what he's been able to do out here, and how do you, I guess, know if he's ready for the regular season? Well,
when I talked to Brandon, I think, you know, he feels ready. I know he's really loved being outdoors, kicking with the wind. The wind's been kind of a fun challenge for him a little bit. You know, when you're kicking indoors all the time, I think he's been maximizing those opportunities. But I think he's in a really good spot. It's interesting for me, having never really spent much time when I'm in those meetings when, you know, Nick and Carlos are going through the specialist stuff, specifically with Brandon and Banger, hearing the technical side of what goes into kicking a football. You know, I mean, I just kind of took it for granted. Like, okay, yeah, you kick the ball and this and that, but the technical footwork and, you know, the plant step and the follow through and all those different things, like, literally, I'm in amazement in some regards. Like, there's so much technical stuff that goes into it. And I think he's in a really good spot right now, very confident. But being outside and on the grass has been great for him.
You guys get ready to leave tomorrow. What's been something that maybe stood out to you about your first training camp?
I'd say a lot of things. I think, you know, number one, I love the environment out here. You know, we actually had a chance. We had a bunch of the resort hotel staff come in today and show them some gratitude, and they said a few words, and we thanked them, and they got a standing ovation. I mean, they make it so easy for us. You know, we're here working hard, away from our families. You know, we don't want for anything. You know, they take care of us in the food lines. They're amazing. So that was really fun for me. We'll do something, signing some autographs for them as well tomorrow. But I would just say the physical nature of the practices. That's what I'm going to remember. You know, practice yesterday was very physical, very good, very competitive, and another one today. So 2-hour practice today, and we'll be done with our padded work out here in Cali.
Nick Harris, four-star telegram. Just going back to that time when you were 28, you had that moment, and then you also welcome in Sutton. How would you say your life perspective changed in that 1 year?
Well, that's really when it's funny because I kind of, when I first went to San Diego, I was raised Catholic, grew up in the Catholic Church, and then as I got older, I kind of became, I was going to be more of a non-denominational guy. When I first went to San Diego, one of the first people I met was our team chaplain, Pastor Sean Mitchell, and he just was the most upbeat, positive person I've ever been around, just a personality that just drew you in. And my faith really kind of took off, if I'm being honest with you. And I became a much better Christian, a much stronger believer, and my faith obviously is very important to me. I have my tattoos to prove that, but it was interesting how God worked, because I found my faith out there, and then I think it was about, not long, less than a year, 6-8 months before I got the diagnosis, and I really leaned on my faith. It was a scary time, a lot of things moving on, Again, I'm not joking. I was terrified of the fact that I might lose my ability to speak because of my love for coaching, and I was one of the lucky ones. And again, I look at the scar. I'd say, I don't stare at it because I'm used to it being there. A little bit of chest hair covers it up, but again, I look at it, I'm reminded how lucky I am.
What do you remember about your time with Cooper Rush, and how excited are you to see him?
Oh, I can't wait to see Coop. I mean, Coop's the best. I just loved his personality, the way he was just so calm, even. Can't wait to see him. I, of course, was, pulling for him to go and get a great opportunity. If it wasn't going to be with us, he got a great opportunity, got, a great contract. So can't wait to see him and catch up. And I know he's impacting that locker room, man, just like he did ours. And it'd be great to give him a hug on Saturday. Easy game plan? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm anxious to see if he's running some of the power reading stuff that Lamar's doing. I know he can. I know he did at one time, but I want to ask him about his golf game. I want to see if he's getting much golf in up there in Baltimore.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. We've seen you get fired up when you see plays that you like on the practice field. How fired up do you get when you see George Pickens kind of climb the ladder? Something we haven't really seen him do too much out here, but we know he can do.
Is your mind secretly sabotaging your success? What if there was a way you could instantly stop self-sabotage and reprogram?
Yeah, I mean, I love practice, so it doesn't matter whether it's George running up and high pointing that ball yesterday, or Malik Hooker on the interception. And there's a great play by Malik. I mean, I just love seeing our guys as a unit flash. And I kind of talked to the guys in the team meeting today about, when you have a competitive practice, there should be back and forth. There should be the offense makes a big play, and then the defense responds, and then the defense makes a turnover, and then the offense scores a touchdown. Like, that's how you know your practices are competitive, because there's the back and forth, there's the good, the bad. And we talked a little bit today about sudden change and capturing and seizing that momentum. We're going to be a team that takes the football away. That's our goal. We're trying to get 3 takeaways every game, and the goal on offense to give away 0. So I do think that there's a way that we want to treat sudden change in terms of the process of getting our minds right to reset and focus that we talked about with the guys that you'll see us drill out there today.
You said that you're expecting to get roasted tonight at the rookie show. Who do you think can get you the best or impersonate you the best?
I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a number of things. I really don't know. I think Justin Barron's got a big part of this, is kind of what I'm hearing. So we'll see. He might be a little bit nervous. We'll see. These guys are probably all going to have to do a shot of something before they go up in front of me and all the guys. But I told them, I said, hey, look, guys, hey, have fun with it. Seriously, have fun with it. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings or the guys' feelings. We're not going to take it personal. That's part of the connection piece. If you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh at one another, then what are we doing?
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Forgive me if this is just me not knowing, but have you ever publicly revealed that you had the thyroid cancer ordeal? And if this is your first time, why did you kind of feel it was important to share it?
I don't think I've ever kept it from anybody. I don't think maybe I've ever been asked. I think it was just, Jerry, and how powerful his story is. And again, I'm not comparing my story to Jerry's or anybody else. It's my story, and like I started out with, mine was a lot less significant and serious than other people's. But it just speaks to, again, like, here I sit, and it could have gone a lot of different directions, just like Jerry's story could have gone a lot of different directions. But it's nothing that I keep private. It's hard to keep private when you do have the scar on your neck, and but it's one of those things that my heart does go out to people that have to deal with cancer or any disease that can be deadly and take a turn for the worst.
You share with us pretty clear points that you talk to your team about every day, and they differentiate every day. How do you go about preparing what you're going to tell the team every day, what you're going to talk about, what you want to do? How do you go about preparing that?
Well, the biggest thing I'd say is I never want my team meetings to feel like a team meeting. I do, a lot of work with Tyler Boyles, Ryan Feeder, a couple other guys in terms of just changing it up. I don't want these guys to come in and be like, oh, he's doing this, this is the flow. So I try to keep them on their toes. I try to keep them interesting. But we look for different things. We look for things that we try to speak about in terms of current events that are going on, philosophical things that affect us, football-specific game management stuff. We always compete, find different competitions, whether it's golf, ping pong, basketball, whatever it is. Today we showed a video, breaking news of the AP Top 25, coming out. So Demo was all fired up, he and Micah and Miles, about, Texas and Penn State being up there high. I do think that Florida got, cheated a little bit. I think we should be higher than 15, but people were quick to point out Mississippi State wasn't on there. So, yeah, Dak didn't really like that. But I think, to answer your question, I just, I'm going to get my points across, but I also don't want it to be like, all right, how much longer shot are you going to go for? I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it upbeat. I teach. We watch practice clips. We showed the sudden change from the other day against the Rams, where Joe had the interception, the defense got the ball back, and then we missed the explosive, and just talked about momentum and things like that. So I'm going to give a lot of credit to Tyler Boyles, my chief of staff. He's incredible. Ryan Feeder's a great sounding board, and there's some of the guys in the video department that find some of the stuff off the wall, too, to show.
Michelle. Coach Michelle Montaigne, WBay. John asked you what stood out to you most about your first training camp as the head coach. Is that, you said that this is what they do practice and whatnot. Is that your favorite part, or do you have a favorite part of being out here?
I think the favorite part that I have is this with you guys every day. No, just kidding. Man, the meetings, I really do. I'm a pretty simple guy. I've got my family, I've got my faith, and then I've got football. I just love it. I could do football 24/7. But to sit in the meetings and hear the coaches just hammer on guys and the different points and the coach, I get excited to hear our coaches teach, because I think they do an awesome job of teaching. And then I'm real big. I say it, they used to make fun of me. It'll probably show up in the rookie show. I say write this down a lot, because I do think that the mother of all learning is to write things down. So the guys always have to have their notebooks out. But I'm just a football junkie, and you could be in the weight room, could be in the locker room, could be on the practice field. If I'm doing football, I'm pretty happy. Which part? No, pre-snap penalties are not my favorite part. And so actually we had on Malik's interception yesterday, there was we have the officials out here. Alan Eck and his team are out here. Be out there with us again today. And on Malik's great interception, there was a penalty called for lining up in the neutral zone, offsides. So I showed that to the group today, and again pointed out, like, here's a huge momentum swing, but because we didn't take the time to check our alignment, we were offsides. That play comes back. So the discipline piece, we've been hammering pretty hard.
Question on that. It's something that the team has struggled with for a couple seasons, or several. What goes into that? What goes into these three steps?
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's discipline, and I've been a part of it, but I'm not going to say that, ultimately I was in charge of all of that. I think, you have to teach these guys. I'm not a guy that shies away from anything. I love hard conversations. I like bringing guys in. I don't mind calling guys out. They know I love them. They know I care about them. If I call a guy out, it's not because I don't care about him. It's that, hey, if this hurts our ability to win, that's the goal. The goal is to win, and not just win, it's to win a Super Bowl. And so I have zero problem pointing those things out, but I think what happens is if you don't point them out, then you're almost making it seem to them like, oh, these are okay. They're not okay. And we obviously didn't do a great job of it last year. We didn't do a great job of it, in this past game. And so a couple things I'm looking for in this upcoming game against Baltimore is I'd love us to start faster one. I'd like us to play with more discipline, in terms of the pre-snap penalties, and I'd love to see us tackle better on defense.
Coach Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Kind of a two-part question. First being, as you guys transition back to the home front, obviously the huge positive is guys get to be back around their families, their loved ones. But as a head coach, you also have the challenge of potential outside distractions. What's your message to the team as they transition back to Dallas?
Well, number one, we want them to reconnect with their families. I want them all taking their kids to school on Friday. Friday will be an off day. Take your kids to school, man, and be around your family, reconnect. What's going on? I mean, I've got a daughter checking into, moving into college that I've barely talked to. So, I obviously can't get to her, but, I hope she can give me 10 or 15 minutes just to touch base on how everything's going with sorority rush and all that stuff. But, when you play this game and it takes you away from a lot of things and sacrifices, which we should make and we openly make because we want to and we want to be great, when you get those opportunities to pause and celebrate and be around your family, I want them to do that. So we'll do that on Friday because obviously there's a transition. We have to get everything set back up. We'll meet back up Saturday morning, get ready for the game. And we're going to stay in kind of a training camp mode for a little while. We're not going to an in-season schedule right away. Why? I think we're still in the process of evaluation. We're still in the process of growing as a football team. We're still going to have night meetings. We're still going to do things. We've got a few of the night practices coming up as well. But training camp can continue in Frisco for a couple days.
The second part of that question is, from you guys' arrival on July 20th to now, I know you spoke about the physicality a bit. What are you most proud of as far as the progress you've seen over these past 3 weeks or so?
It's funny you ask that because I think I was literally thinking about it earlier today. Yesterday, we've struggled to stay on our feet with padded practices. I thought yesterday was our best day of practicing in pads and not having guys on the ground. And so that was one of the things that just stood out to me, Patrick, when you asked the question, because I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, as I watch the film, I usually watch the film with the staffs, and then I'll watch it again either at night or in the morning. And I was kind of like, maybe we're figuring this thing out because we're going to be in pads some, and we're going to practice in pads during the season, and you have to do that and still be able to stay on the ground. So that's one thing that just popped out when you asked the question. I was like, that was something I think, hey, maybe we're getting it and get you excited as a coach.
Patrick asked you about the positives. Are there any concerns or things that you don't think you got to coming out of camp, after 4 weeks camp, and I don't know, cornerback, defensive tackle, anything that you're concerned with about this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think, at the end of the day, it's not concerns, it's figuring out these position battles. There's a ton of position battles where we're going to have to make some really tough decisions, and we're going to have to go back, and you'll see us do some one-on-ones today, Clarence, because one-on-ones are a cool tool for us to look at. Okay, hey, can this guy cover this guy one-on-one? Can this guy rush the passer and beat this guy one-on-one? But I wouldn't say there's things I'm concerned about. I would say that there's some big, hard, tough decisions coming up that we want to make sure we're making the right decision. Myself, Jerry, Steven, Will McClay, his staff, the coaches. And so that's why you have to have some of these hard practices. That's why we have to practice hard next week too, because we have to make sure we're getting it right, and I think we will get it right.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, hi, expert.
All right, I appreciate that. We went over ahead and let Brian talk all the way through. Wasn't a lot of football talk, a lot of personal talk, especially as, you talk about the whole issue of the cancer, the cancer battle of Jerry Jones, and then he talked about his own personal cancer battle. Let me greet a few more people as they have come in to the show. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. And I want to talk about a couple of things that Brian Schottenheimer talked about in that press conference, and then we'll move on to the Cowboys power ranking. But I do think it's important to address the few football things that he did mention. But let me I want to make sure I recognize, I always love when you guys come in, rocking with the best chat on YouTube. Again, making sure we greet Derek Grimsley. I see you, Reality Cowboy. Y'all can see yourselves on the screen there. Appreciate you, Brandon Cup. I like something Brandon Cup said. Don't get me wrong, but all the press conferences is distracting, and the team should be practicing. I never played pro, but how you get better practicing 3 days a week for an hour? This is what they battle for with the collective bargaining agreement and all that stuff, to practice less. But I'm in full agreement, because I do think that Brian Schottenheimer is. I think we're getting Brian Schottenheimer to talk too much. I do believe we're getting Brian to talk too much because the more you talk, the more checks you write. The more you talk, the more checks you write. The issue is, can you cash? We need to make sure our checks can be cashed. And so for me, I would prefer it not to be so much talking, but I understand too, Jerry has these open practices. You know, Jerry does this for the fan. You know, a lot of people say Jerry, and this is why I'm telling us, and I'm going to talk more about this today. People say some things about Jerry that are untrue, and we need to be very accurate when we talk about Jerry Jones, in my opinion, and in my estimation, and based on the facts. We need to be more accurate about Jerry Jones. I don't believe for a second that Jerry Jones don't care about the fan base. That is a bold-faced lie. Now, let me tell you why it's a bold-faced lie. Because Jerry Jones, unlike these other teams, Jerry Jones understands he has a different fan base. Jerry don't have the same fan base as the Rams, the Chiefs, the Giants, the Browns. The Cowboys have a very unique fan base. We are the only team that I know of that people watch us even when they hate us. It's a phenomenon in sports that is incredible to me. My uncle used to tell me this. My dad used to tell me when I was growing up that the Cowboys have only two types of fans: those who love them, those who hate them. There are no in between. And the thing that people don't understand about Jerry Jones, but I fully understand Jerry Jones, at least based on what I've seen. I can't say I know the man personally, but I'm going to tell you what I do understand about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones understands business. And Jerry Jones plays to both of his audiences. He plays to the fan base that loves him. Jerry plays to the fan base that hates him. And that's why you see a lot of these open practices. This is why you see us, Brandon Cup, this is why you see us with more interviews than some other teams may give, more open practices than other teams may give, because anybody could come to these open practices and film us. Anybody could. Who knows who's out there really filming for teams? Who knows? It's not like they're closed off to anybody. Anybody can come. But that's a part of the machine that Jerry rolls with and he understands. Reality Cowboy again, I appreciate you. He said that's a heartwarming story by Shotty. C-Base, still ain't signed the help we need, or Micah day by day just passes. Don't worry, the Cowboys are going to get it done. I believe they are going to get it done. What's going on, Preston Taylor? He said, did you hear anything about Brandon Aubrey turning down a $35 million deal from the Raiders to remain loyal to the Dallas Cowboys? Hey, man. Brandon Aubrey said, I don't want to move out no doggone Oakland. I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna make sure I'll look it up and see if it's there. Again, Alfredo, I appreciate you for being here. He said, why can't Michael go to Jerry and say, okay, Jerry, let's stop all this BS and sign this deal? Yeah, I'm with you. What's going on, my brother Rod? Ray Parrish, what's going on? Can we run the ball? Yes. Will we be able to stop the run? Is yet to be seen. But I do think we need a one tech. But based on the way that Matt Eberflus defense is ran, it's predicated on the 3 tech. It's also predicated on the linebackers roaming north and south, east and west, being able to back up that run game. So we're going to see how it goes. But I would feel a lot more comfortable with a one tech. But let me get some more of these readings in. Ron Hanna, Super Cowboys, appreciate you being in here. Cowboys for life. What's going on? Mikey, 405 OKC, what up with you? Mr. 1972, I already got you. Poopy D in here got my back. Oh, I'm going to talk all kinds of noise today. Poopy D got me. Good to see you, Poopy D. I'm Awake is up in here. What's going on with you? Merc Dog, what's going on? Merc Dog said, Shotty's starting to give me snake oil vibes. Press conferences every day just to work the room and try to be funny. Merc Dog, this is a part of the machine. I'm kind of with you on this. I wish Shotty didn't have to have all these press conferences. I wish he didn't have to have all these press conferences because it's setting you up to continue to write checks. I don't want Shotty writing checks. I want Shotty going out there and putting it down on the field so that when we get on the field, they're going to be able to do their thing. Gregory Davis in the crib. What's going on? The new house, fam. What's going on? Good to see you. All right, Gerald Mays, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Mix Matrix, what's going on? Good to see my sister in the crib. Cool Coleman, what's going on? Always a pleasure. Yes, sir. I appreciate you rocking with me today. All right, we gonna get this thing rolling some more. Pure Gaming, good to see you. Boy, man, let me tell you something. Hindsight is 2020, but I would have loved to see Robert Saleh too. I would have loved to see Robert Saleh too. Hey, but it is what it is. We rocking with these guys. But again, hey guys, let's capitalize on 3 things real quick that Brian Schottenheimer talked about in that press conference. Now, y'all remember what I told you yesterday? I understand what some people were saying about those of us like me who were reacting to the first preseason game. It's not an overreaction. The only way you're overreacting to a preseason game is that you're saying, I'm done with Shotty. The Cowboys are going to be 2-15. There's no hope for this team. Brian Schottenheimer, because he's wearing his visor backwards, the Cowboys are not going to win. Those are overreactions. But when you're just reacting to what you see and reacting to what you don't see, that's actually not an overreaction. And the reason why I know it's not an overreaction is because Brian Schottenheimer is actually reacting also. Brian Schottenheimer is reacting also. And so, again, Brian Schottenheimer is saying he wants to see some of the very things that I thought was missing during that game. So, the one thing he said he wanted to do was start faster. Now, if it's me, where I would disagree, Brian knows way more football than me, but where I would disagree with Brian, or maybe let me add to what Brian is saying. Maybe it's not that we need to start faster. How about we start better? How about we start better? You did try to start off fast. It didn't work. You tried to come out with 6 straight passing plays. It didn't work. How about we start off faster and better? How about we come out and say, we're going to run the ball? How about we open it up with a handoff to settle down? I don't care if it's Dak Prescott. Hey, let's get this thing. Let's settle down. Let's hand it off. How about we start better? How about we start smarter? How about we open up the playbook just a tinge? I know Brian wants to take this league by storm. And I do believe that Brian Schottenheimer is about to have a very high-powered offense. I think he's going to have a high-powered offense. But let's open it up just a little bit more in preseason. Maybe give us about maybe about a couple of more, maybe 2 or 3 more looks. Maybe 2 or 3 more looks. Run the ball. And rather than trying to go down the field, how about we get into gaming mode and say, we're going to take what they give us. We're going to execute, take what they give us. And then when we make them play up a little bit, then we're going to hit you. Then we're going to hit you deep. So I would add to what he said. Not only start faster, start smarter. Start smarter. That's what I would like to see him do. Number 2, discipline. We're still costing ourselves with penalties. Even though that was the second team, I'm very interested. I don't think we're going to see the first team. Unfortunately, I just don't think we're going to see the first team. So we're going to have to wait until the Philadelphia game when we get on the road in that loud stadium to see where's the discipline with the first team. But nevertheless, I would like to see more discipline too. And he mentioned one of the things that I said I didn't see from the Cowboys: poor tackling. Again, 20 players didn't play. But again, the players who did play, I'm sorry, they want to make the team. They should be tackling. It's not an overreaction. Doggone it, they should be tackling. If you're on defense, you should be tackling. That's not an overreaction. They should be tackling. I would like to see better tackling. I would also add to that, I would like to see the defensive line be a lot more aggressive. And I would also like to see the Cowboys be a whole lot more physical. I would like to see them be a lot more physical. Because I am telling you, you thought the Rams were physical? Baltimore Rams going to be physical too. Baltimore Rams going to be physical, especially up front. Jamal Ism in the crib. I see you. What's going on? Good to see you up in here. All right, I see somebody new. Max MS 1100. What's going on with you? He said Rock One Davis, 6'7", 320 is only 27. Bama boy from the SEC, absolute dog trust. He said, I'll admit he's done nothing in the league, but one take is hard to evaluate. You know what? Hey, Max, not only is it hard to evaluate, it's hard to develop. See, Mozzie Smith is a prime example. College is different than the pros in the trenches. Man, you might be playing against a astrophysicist in college. Now, you come to the pros, you playing against grown men. So now we got to get you used to a whole different speed, a whole different, just more power. We're just introducing you to something brand new. So it takes a little time to get acclimated into that, unless you're just an absolute super stud at that position. But even then, I think it's going to take you maybe a couple of years. And a lot of people say around year 3, that's when they bust out. But unfortunately, I'm going to tell you the truth about Mozzie Smith. I do feel sorry for Mozzie Smith to a degree, because they've been playing with this guy's weight. They've been playing with the scheme. And he seems to be a guy already, Max, who was struggling with, maybe, as far as we can tell, Mozzie seemed to be struggling with his love for football. Some people, man, we don't understand. There have been guys who have been great in high school. They didn't want to go to the pros. No, I've known kids like this. Be dominant in football. That's not what they're going to college for. And there'll be scouts trying to get them to play, and they'll be like, no. Then you get people, they play on the college level. They may love or like the game on the college level because it's fun, it's the popular thing to do. But hey, man, it takes a certain kind of person to be a pro. But I do feel sorry for Mozzie a little bit. You know, I just think that for whatever reason, I just think he was behind the 8 ball from the beginning. They never wanted him to be the D tackle. Jerry did, but I don't think Jerry and Will did. I don't think Dan nor Mike McCarthy. And then Zimmer got stuck with him. Zimmer let him get his weight back up. And we saw flashes last year with Zimmer. I mean, I'm telling you, Mozzie looked better under Zimmer. And then we got in Matt Eberflus, and now we done reverted this man back to the same thing he was with Dan Quinn. It's a mess. But again, yeah, I'm with you. We got to get this one tech for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Max. And you know what's wrong, Max? You said Shotty lost a few points the last game. Now, let me tell you why why he lost these points. He lost these points because he's talking so much that he's going against some of his own talking points. Like yesterday, he said, I don't want yes men. No guy that works for me is a yes man. Now we're questioning, is Brian a yes man? Because a lot of people are questioning, is it Brian Schottenheimer's decision to sit out 20 players? Tyler Booker is the only one of only 2 first-round rookies, if I'm not mistaken, one of only 2 who did not play in the preseason opener. And a lot of people are saying, and I don't know if this to be true, was that a Jerry decision or was that a Brian decision? Where I'm really tripping on him is him and all the coaches are talking about competition, except when it comes to Joe Milton. Joe Milton, no, we want to learn him, but we're not going to let Matt Greer, of all the people on the team, Matt Greer is the only player on the team that doesn't get to compete, and Joe Milton is the only player on the team that doesn't have to compete. Make it make sense. You can't make exceptions like that for anybody. So I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm still driving the bus for Shotty. I'm still driving the bus for Shotty because I think what Shotty has to learn, all that stuff, your notes and all your philosophies and all of that stuff that you know is right, all that sound good. Where people start fumbling is the application. When you get in the situation, it's not the notes you took before you got in the situation. is now do you use your notes and go by your notes when you're in the situation? And so we got to continue to see how he's going to turn out. But again, that's kind of where I am on what I would like to see from the Cowboys against the Baltimore Ravens. Again, it's going to be another test. And then I want to capitalize just for a second on when he said there are going to be some tough decisions. Let me tell you something. The Cowboys have some good problems, and the Cowboys have some bad problems as it pertains to decisions. The Cowboys, edge rusher, defensive end. The Cowboys are stellar. The Cowboys actually got enough edge rushers or defensive ends to where if they really wanted to, they could trade somebody and bring in a one tech or a cornerback. Now, I'm not going to start saying they need to trade somebody, but I'm telling you, the Cowboys have enough on the edge to where the Cowboys could literally trade one of those guys and go out and probably get a D tackle. The Cowboys are good to go at linebacker. I don't think they're going to have to make any serious decisions there. The Cowboys are good to go, I think, it's safety. Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas are probably next year's safeties, but I think they're going to go with what they have right now at the safety position. But what I do think they got some serious decisions to make is the cornerbacks. The Cowboys really need to decide coming up if they're going to knock some of these cornerbacks out of here and try to bring in some guys who can really play. Even with Savon Revel Jr. and Trayvon Diggs coming back. And the reason why, if I'm the Cowboys, I still go out and see if I can bring some quality cornerback play here, because who's to say that Trayvon Diggs stays healthy? Knock on wood. No, I want him to come back 100%. I don't want him back early. I want Trayvon Diggs back hungry with something to prove and come out here and show everybody that you were worth the contract that you got. But I'm still going to bring in a cornerback. I may even bring in 2 cornerbacks. I want to see if I can up the quality of my cornerback room. I'm not sold on what we got out there. Booth, man, I don't even know what Brian was talking about the other day with Booth. Man, Booth out of here, man. Angie the Rebel Chick said Booth, Boof. Booth is out of this joint for me. I'm not waiting on Butler. I'm not relying on Carson. I like the Tristan Childress guy maybe that we've been talking about. Okay, I like him, but I want to bring in maybe a couple of more. I want to bring in a Stephon Gilmore. I want to bring in another couple for tryouts even. But again, the Cowboys have very big decisions to make at the cornerback position, and then I'm gonna mention just a couple of more positions because the Cowboys, I think their offensive line depth is incredible. The wide receiver room is off the chain, and that's where they're going to have to make some big decisions because all of these wide receivers are battling for that number 3 spot, and I'm telling you, they're all looking pretty good. Trayshawn Holden is exciting. He's moving up the charts. Jonathan Mingo looking good. Cropper always looks good in the preseason, and maybe Cropper puts it together on the field this year. You got Ryan Flanoy. Ryan Flanoy is going to be a fantastic wide receiver. And the Cowboys have got big problems because how do you keep all these guys? How in the world do you keep all these guys? You got Jalen Brooks in the room. And you got, how do you big decisions in the wide receiver room? And the other big decision I believe the Cowboys have to make, defensive tackle. They're going to have to decide if they're going with Akeem Basadi, Jay Toya, Mozzie still kind of playing around over there, Solomon Thomas and Perrion Winfrey kind of alternating in over there too. It's not a big decision for me. It's a must-make decision that the Cowboys can't play around with this. And after this Baltimore Ravens game, I'm hoping that the trees begin to shake, and I'm hoping that the Cowboys can go out there and say, okay, let's go and get us a one tech. I hope they can go out there and get him a one tech. Max says Mozzie just doesn't have the personality for the Cowboys. He is just on the wrong team. You know what? That could be true. That could absolutely be true. And I think that could also be true from the perspective of I think I might have forgot to mention the running back room. The Cowboys have a big decision to make it in the running back room because you got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue is hurt. And Jaden Blue may be hurt a little bit more serious than they're letting on. Jaden Blue is now going to go into the season hurt. So they're going to have to let Jaden Blue get healthy. So I think we may get a delay in maybe seeing the Jaden Blue, the Jaden Blue story. The Cowboys have brought back in Malik Davis. They also got Phil Maffa. And then you have Deuce Vaughn. Well, I just don't think I just don't think Deuce, when you look at all those running backs. I'm sorry, but Malik Davis looked good when he came in. He just made, Malik Davis looked good, man. I'm sorry, he looked good. I just don't see where Deuce Vaughn fits. I think Deuce Vaughn and Mozzie Smith both may go to other teams and very well be successful. The Newhouse fam, he said Jerry needs to make some moves. $31 million just sitting there. Oh, don't you worry. They're going to make some moves. I got a feeling Deron Bland gets done before training camp is up. Deron Bland gets done. Deron Bland has already expressed he wants a deal. Deron Bland to get done. I wouldn't be surprised if Ty Smith get done. The Michael Parsons thing, we're just gonna have to say it is what it is. They may be waiting a little bit longer. But I do think the Cowboys are going to have to bring in a cornerback and a defensive tackle. Because I said it yesterday, and I'm going to keep harping on this. Man, the Cowboys may be a couple of players away on defense from being one of the best defenses we've seen from the Cowboys in years. We could literally have us a real top 5 defense if they bring in a one-tech. I think a one-tech would change the whole complexion of Matt Eberflus's defense. We may be on that verge if we could just get a couple of men. The Big Rombowski, he said with Mulugeta repping both Parsons and Pickens. I'm starting to wonder if Jerry is being so stubborn because he's looking down the road. I'm not sure what Jerry's strategy is or if he's got one, but man, let me tell you something. I told y'all this 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3. They are at war with athletes first. This is not about the players, guys. This is not about these players. This is about these doggone agents. Because these doggone agents are looking at the Cowboys as pushovers. And Jerry and Steven are saying, I'm tired of this. Shoo. Man, Jerry and Steven talk about they tired of this. We gonna see. All right, let me move real quick. I only got about 30 more minutes, but I want to get this in. Y'all, hey, Big Rombowski, I think I'm gonna have to do Cowboys After Dark. What you think? I think I'm gonna have to do Cowboys After Dark tonight. All right, so let's get to this second issue. Let me show you something crazy about this Dallas Cowboys power rank that came up a couple of days ago, and I didn't notice it. But let me show you something about this doggone Dallas Cowboys power rank that is incredible. So a power rank has come out. This was August the 5th, 2025. So let's check this out, guys. It says the NFL power rankings, and this was written by Eric Edom, August the 5th, 2025. It says the NFL power rankings, Jaguars, Titans, biggest movers, Dolphins drop ahead of preseason opener. Now, let me show you something that is absolutely incredible. And I'm going to see if I can flash back and forth. Let me see. I want to see if I can flash. I'm going to try to flash back and forth between the Cowboys schedule. So we're going to look at this kind of all in one subject. But let me pull up the Cowboys schedule, and this is incredible when you look at this. Let me tell you something. The Cowboys are going to have an opportunity this season to shut a whole lot of haters up. They are going to have the opportunity to shut up a lot of haters. So let me go through the power rankings and show you where the Cowboys are. So I want to run to where the Cowboys are first, and then I'm gonna circle the block and show you their schedule versus this power ranking and tell me this isn't incredible. So as we go down the list, I mean, we see Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, blah, blah, Buffalo, Detroit. We're watching all these teams, Washington, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Los Angeles, Minnesota, Broncos, Cincinnati, Chargers, Texans, Niners, Steelers, Bears, Arizona Cardinals, the Seahawks. And at number 20, they have the Dallas Cowboys. They have the Dallas Cowboys power ranked at number 20. Now, y'all tell me if y'all think that ranking is correct. The Cowboys being at number 20. It says here the Micah Parsons news has dominated the headlines since the start of camp, and for good reason. Even if we brush off Parsons' trade request as the necessary and uncomfortable part of contract negotiations, the Cowboys have still been without one of their most indispensable players all of camp so far. You can't count on a consistent pass rush without him, even if second rounder Donovan Ezeraku continues impressing. Then on offense, there's the question of how much preseason time Dak Prescott will receive coming off the hamstring injury. I don't think Dak's going to play. It says he needs the time to mesh with Brian Schottenheimer and new wide receiver George Pickens, but the Cowboys also can't risk their quarterback getting hurt. They cannot risk it right now. They're going to have to risk it when the season starts. There have been some tense moments early in camp, but this team's story has not yet been written. Now, when I look at the Cowboys at number 20, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm not necessarily tripping on the Cowboys being at number 20. The only time I start tripping is when I start looking at the team that is in front of them. When you tell me the Seattle Seahawks, with a brand new quarterback and all these things they have going on, that they're going to be better than the Cowboys, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the Arizona Cardinals. They have not been good since they got Kyler Murray. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. When you tell me the Chicago Bears, what? Ain't no way. Ain't no way when I'm thinking about the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. I'm not buying the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to tell me that you're going to put the Cowboys at number 16, okay, I can give you number 16 simply because of the season the Cowboys had last year. Brand new coach, brand new coaching staff, a lot of rookies that are going to have to contribute. We got some free agents that we picked up that are going to have to contribute. So my ranking would be the Cowboys for me would have to be somewhere around 16. That's where I would have the Cowboys. But y'all tell me, that's where I would have the Cowboys. Now, the reason why I think this is so significant as we jump into the schedule part of this. So I want to flip back and forth between the Cowboys' upcoming schedule and the power rankings. Because when you look at the Cowboys' upcoming schedule versus the power rankings, this is fascinating because the Cowboys may go into the season ranked number 20. The Cowboys may come out of game 1 in the top 10 if they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to know why? Look at this. Let's go back up to the top. The number 1 power ranked team is none other than the Philadelphia Eagles. And who do we play week 1? None other than the Philadelphia Eagles. Out of the gate, the Dallas Cowboys get an opportunity to shut some haters up. Out the gate, they get to shut some haters up. Will they? We'll see. But out the gate, they get to shut some haters up. If the Cowboys come out the gate and beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe the Cowboys will immediately jump to the top 10. Probably at the bottom, no less than 15. The Cowboys out of the gate will have a great opportunity to prove that they're better than everybody thinks. Then, when you come back over, I thought it was even more ironic as you start going down the power rankings. So the Baltimore Ravens are at number 2. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, I don't remember the Ravens. I don't remember the Ravens being on the Cowboys schedule. Okay, so the Ravens are not on the Cowboys schedule. But when I flip back over to week 2, so if the Cowboys can beat the Eagles, and I think they can beat the Eagles, so next they'll play the New York Giants. I think the Giants are going to be better than everyone thinks, but I still think the Cowboys should make work of them. Might not be easy work, but I think the Cowboys will beat the Giants. I do think the Cowboys will beat the Giants. But then, let's flip back over to the power ranking. I find this to be very ironic. When you flip back over to the power rankings, guess who we have at number 17? The Chicago Bears. I don't know how they're in front of the Cowboys. I don't know how. But they're in front of the Cowboys for whatever reason. Cowboys, game 3. It's the Chicago Bears. Cowboys going to have an opportunity to move up this list and just prove people wrong point by point by point. And I'm telling you, book it. The Cowboys beat the Chicago Bears. Book it. Book it. I will not be surprised. I don't care what Ben Johnson throws at the Cowboys. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys absolutely blow the Chicago Bears, blow the doors off of them. Because I'm telling you, Matt Eberflus is going to be out for blood. Matt Eberflus is going to be out for blood against the Chicago Bears. I believe the Cowboys are going to blow the doors off the Chicago Bears. And then, as you continue to go down, it's amazing to me as you continue to look at this this top 20 power ranking. And when you keep looking at all the teams that are in front of the Cowboys, it is strange to me that look who is at number 8 on this list of the power rankings. It's the Green Bay Packers. The team that Mike McCarthy could not beat. His own former team, he couldn't beat them. Well, guess who the Cowboys play in game 4? The Green Bay Packers. By game 4. By game 4. I'm not worried about where they have the Cowboys ranked right now. But when I look at these Dallas Cowboys and what I believe they're going to be able to achieve offensively, and what I think they can achieve, I think they can still be good enough without getting the one tech. I just don't think you're a playoff. I don't think you're a deep playoff run team without a one tech. I just don't think there'll be a deep one. I don't think there'll be a deep playoff game. We may see the Cowboys once again get to the playoffs and get beat if they don't get a one tech. Because I'm telling you, when we get to that final 8 or whatever it is, them boys going to be tough. You're going to see some teams that can run, some teams that can rush the passer. You're going to see some teams that can show enough fight you in the trenches. The Cowboys, if they're truly talking about going to the Super Bowl, they have to start getting that ready right now. But again, when I look at the power rankings versus the Cowboys' schedule, it's insane how this lines up. The Cowboys, I'm telling you, the Cowboys are going to be able, the Cowboys are either going to just shock so many people within the first 8 games, or people are going to say the same old Cowboys. But I don't think it is. I think the Cowboys are going to, they're going to achieve another milestone. I think Brian Schottenheimer is going to do what Mike McCarthy couldn't do. I think he's going to beat the Green Bay Packers. I believe he's going to beat the Green Bay Packers too. I see the Cowboys by week 4, 3-1 or 4-0. 3-1 or 4-0. They could be 2-2. But I don't think the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys. They either going to beat both of them or one of them. You watch what I tell you. So, it's strange. As you keep going back and forth, between these power rankings. Week 5, the Cowboys play the Jets. That should be a win. The Cowboys play the Panthers. That better be a win. Week 7, we play our first game against the Commanders in Dallas. And lo and behold, look who's at number 6 on the power rankings. The Washington Commanders. This is going to be an incredible season for the Cowboys. We are either about to watch the Cowboys prove so many people wrong, including this power ranking. They're either going to prove a whole bunch of people wrong, or this number 20 is probably going to be about right. But by week 7, the Cowboys are playing the Commanders. I don't think the Commanders are beating the Cowboys in Dallas. Man, the Cowboys have a great opportunity in these first 7 weeks. Because when week 8 comes around, week 8 is where the challenges ramp up. So when we look at the Cowboys schedule, week 8, the Cowboys play the Denver Broncos. Week 9, they play the Arizona Cardinals. You want to see something that's ironic again? Look at the power rankings. Lo and behold, look who else on this list. And matter of fact, they're probably up higher. Look who's on this list. Number 11, none other than the Denver Broncos. Do you see the trend, how crazy this is? The teams that are power ranked in front of the Cowboys just so happen to all be on their schedule. I'm sure this probably falls for other teams too. But this to me is like one of the most incredible things, because you're literally going to be able to run the gauntlet on all the teams that everybody said that's in front of you. The Denver Broncos are the week 8 team. And then when you flip back over week 9, the Arizona Cardinals, do y'all remember what I told you earlier? Look who they have in front of the Cowboys for whatever reason. At number 18. I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. I don't want to hear anybody's mouth saying that the Dallas Cowboys are not beating good teams. Because for the record, their first 9 weeks, they're playing top 10, top 20 teams. All these teams are supposed to be better than the Cowboys. So you can't say they're not going to be playing good teams. Now, y'all know how this goes. A lot of times they be power ranking these teams that they're saying there's this, that, and the other, and a bag of chips. And those will be the teams that will actually, when they play the Cowboys and the Cowboys beat them, then they fall off the boat. You know what they'll say? They'll move the goalposts. Oh, them teams weren't that good anyway. This power ranking for the Cowboys actually doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. This is actually the kind of power rank I'm glad the Cowboys have. I'm glad they're at number 20. I'm glad they're at number 20 because they are going to get an opportunity to fight their way up this chart. They get an opportunity to fight their way up this chart. And I'm telling you, for me, I just think the Cowboys, by the time they get to the Raiders by week 11, man, the Cowboys should be somewhere. I mean, maybe I'm just judging this on a very high curve. I don't see why the Cowboys couldn't be 7-2. I don't see why the Cowboys couldn't be 7-2 by week 10. You figure in a couple of losses here and there to those teams, they're all power ranked. I don't see why the Cowboys couldn't be 7-2. I mean, some people say they could be 2-7. I don't think 2-7 is possible. I mean, unless they just totally collapse. But I don't see any reason why the Cowboys can't be 7-2 by the time week 11 roll around. And so, and it doesn't stop when you think about this Cowboys schedule. You know, this is, by the rankings, this is a crazy schedule the Cowboys have. I mean, you think about week 11, the Cowboys have the Raiders. Let me go back. I don't remember the Raiders being power ranked above the Cowboys. The Raiders were not power ranked above the Cowboys. But if I'm not, okay, and we already know the Philadelphia Eagles are on there. We don't know what they'll be by week 12. But I'm sure the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, the Kansas City Chiefs is the number 3 power ranked team, and we got them in week 13. Boy, when I tell you, I mean, we don't know how tough this schedule is going to be until we get it further down the line. But man, doggone it. The Detroit Lions are ranked number 5. The doggone Cowboys turn back around and play them right after they play the Kansas City Chiefs. Entire schedule for the Cowboys is nothing but power ranked teams. It's nothing but power ranked teams. And a lot of these teams in the top 10. Look at this. Cowboys, week 15, week 16. They got the Minnesota Vikings and they got the Los Angeles Chargers. Tell me this schedule for the Cowboys is not going to be insane. Look at who they have power ranked at number 10. The Minnesota Vikings. What? This schedule is going to be fun. Look what they got at number 13. The Chargers. The Cowboys got the Vikings in 15, the Chargers in week 16, and they are power ranked 13, and the Vikings are power ranked number 10. Boy, you can't make this stuff up for a first-year coach. This is a heck of a schedule for a first-year coaching staff. It really is. Let me go to the comments. I'm about to get up out of here in the next few minutes, but let me go to the comments. Boy, I want to see where y'all are on this. Boy, this schedule is crazy for the Cowboys. The schedule and the power rankings, man, the Cowboys are going to have a lot to prove. They really are. They are going to have a lot to prove. And they're going to get to prove a lot. I'm telling us. The Cowboys are going to get to prove a lot. They got a schedule out of this world. There is no doubt about it. They have a schedule out of this world. Yeah, I'm with y'all on the Jaden Blue thing. We'll see if he gets healthy, but I'll tell you this, doggone it. Malik Davis came in this thing looking like, shoe. Malik Davis come up in this thing like, I'm hungry, bro. I'm not worried. I think Malik Davis can hold it down. I don't think Jaden Blue's going to be gone for the season. Shoot, Malik Davis come up in this thing like, I'm hungry. Shoot, I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry. Ron Hannah said, I'd rank us at 14. Okay. Yeah. I tell you this, they're going to have a great opportunity. When I tell you the Cowboys have a great opportunity, they are going to, I'm telling you, by the bye week for the Cowboys, people are either going to be on the bandwagon or they're going to be waiting on the side of the road for the bandwagon to come. Because if the Cowboys go 7-2, man, even 6-3, but if the Cowboys come out in week 10, bye week, 6-3, 7-2, shoo, bandwagon everybody. Everybody on that bandwagon. It's going to be a Herculean effort, though. It is going to take a Herculean effort. Big Rambowski said, new head coach, new offense, second-year quarterback that will be unproven under Ben Johnson's offense. Dallas can't lose in week 3. Man, they're going to blow the doors off the Bears. You watch what I tell you. Eberflus blowing the doors off them boys. But shoot, you watch what I tell you. Blowing the doors off of them. Brandon Cupp said it took the Eagles 60 years to get one Super Bowl. Come on. He said that's why Eagle fans are annoying. No doubt. They're basking in it now. But every dog has his day. Dominique Pittman. This is going to pick up more noise than people understand. The Jalen Tolbert trade talk is going to pick up more noise than people understand. You said I trade Tolbert for someone who has a one tech. It is going to pick up more steam than people understand. It is. Because Tolbert is not, if you look at Tolbert versus all those number 3 wide receivers from last year, I'm sorry, but his stats are better. I mean, people can argue who's better, but his stats were better. Rumbowski said the Broncos will probably have the best defense in the NFL. They are bad. Them some bad men. Yeah, I agree with you. The Broncos, they are some bad, boy, they are some bad men. That defense is crazy. It is. Yeah, Broncos defense was solid last year, and in 2025 will be even better. Better. We have to beat them. They had our number 4. Shoot, man, them boys going to be hard to beat. Then you got to go up there in Denver where it's hard to breathe. Woo, they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat. But you know what? With the schedule that we have, by the time we get to the Broncos, we should be in great shape. We should be in great shape by the time we get to the Broncos. The Broncos is week 9. Week 8. We should be in great shape. Yeah. Katharina Kiss, she said facts. She said I see 3-1, 4-0. Uncle Charles, salute. Ron Hanna, he said I see 3-1, but we finally beat them Packers and the Commanders. Ranks number 6. Boy, man, if there's a team on that list that is way overhyped, it's the Commanders. Way overhyped, man. Way overhyped. Robert Dudley, Tolbert has seniority NFL union stuff, and quarterback is familiar. Yeah. And again, Dak loves some Jalen Tolbert, and it seems like Brian Schottenheimer does too. Metris Adams, what's going on? She said they will say we beat a tomato can team. They won't be able to say it this time. The Cowboys' first 9 weeks, man. Woo! Woo, man. I'm so excited about this season. Man, with all this drama going on, a lot of this drama is going on because we're not playing football. Man, when the season starts, all this stuff is to the wind. The Cowboys, I'm so excited for the Cowboys this year. I think the Cowboys are going to have a great season. The big Rombowski said Denver and Washington should at least be right next to one another in the ranking. Not with, he says, not with Denver that many slots behind Washington. Man, that's crazy to me. I don't even see how you have them in front of, have Washington in front of Denver. That's crazy to me. But again, I know what they're making the judgment on. They made it to the NFC Championship game. So I know what they're doing. Yeah, Big Rombowski, week 11 through 17, it is going to be a brutal stretch. But you know why I'm excited? DeMario Novashone, Trayvon Diggs, Savon Revel Jr. Those guys should be back into the fray by that time. This offense and defense should be hitting its stride around that time. So by the time we see the Kansas City, by the time we see the Raiders, by the time we see the Kansas City Chiefs, we'll be ready to go the second half of the season. We'll be ready to go. Base, they haven't looked the same, at least in the first preseason game. They did not look the same. I don't see the Detroit Lions being the same team, given they have a new DC and a new OC. Their scheme is going to be totally different. They didn't look the same. A lot of frustrations look like in the first preseason game, but it's a preseason game. I understand. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Hallelujah said, he said, we going undefeated. He said, I ain't trying to hear. Man, I'm going to tell you, sometimes you can look at them schedules, hallelujah, and you go, how in the world can we lose? Blue Star up in the crib, he said, might be a gauntlet schedule, but guess what, G? Some way, somehow, folks are going to find ways to discredit our wins. Then it's going to be the same story. Get past the first round, blah, blah, blah. Man, let me tell you something. If we run that gauntlet, Blue Star, we are getting past the first round. We are getting past the first round for sure. All right, guys. Hey, man, I got to run. And for that very reason, we are going to have to do Cowboys After Dark tonight. All right. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got to get out of here. Got to get dressed. But again, my right-hand man, Daniel M., he said, G, don't tell Lisa. Daniel M., I'm telling you, that story is getting legs. That story is getting legs. I'm telling you, the Jalen Tolbert story, I don't know if they're going to walk, but it's definitely getting some legs. There are some teams out there that would probably love to have Jalen Tolbert. I think the Cowboys would love to have him too. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pay him. If he's better than the other third receivers that got $10 million, then what is he going to get? I just don't know. But again, he may be one of those guys that wants to be here, willing to take that pay cut. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. We're going to do Cowboys After Dark tonight. We got more to talk about with these Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure more stuff will come down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep talking Cowboys until the Cowboys get back on the field. Again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.